and call your next witness.
We'll call Mr. Kitchen, Your Honor. Please raise your right hand, sir. You solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you give to the court and the jury on the matter currently pending before the court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth will help you God.
I do.
Please be seated, sir. Could you state your first and last name for the court and jury, please?
Harold Kitchen,
Can you spell your last name for the court reporter, please?
Kitchen.
What are your current duties, sir?
I'm
What do you do for a living?
a police officer with the Athens Clark County Police Department
How long have you held that position?
for about 9.5 years.
You're a certified law enforcement in Georgia.
I am
How long have you been certified, sir?
for about 9.5 years.
I'd like to bring your attention to March 22nd, 2011, sir. Were you a police officer on that day for the Clark County Police Department?
I was.
But you tell the jurors your duties that day.
I was assigned to Days East Patrol Uniform Division.
Did you have any involvement on the police shooting incident on Sycamore Drive on March 22nd, 2011, sir?
I did.
Would you please tell us your involvement on that incident, please, sir?
My involvement entailed hearing a call for assistance, arriving on scene, providing first aid to the officer that was injured. After doing that, took on other duties such as putting up crime scene tape and monitoring the subject I had in custody.
What subject did you have in custody, sir?
Matthew Hood.
Would you tell us about the involvement you had with Mr. Hood on March 22nd, 2011, please, sir?
On that day, Matthew was laid prone out on the ground next to a red SUV. At that time, Deputy Morgan detained that subject, placing him in handcuffs, and then placing him in the back seat of my patrol vehicle. After, as I said before, rendering aid to the officers that were injured and placing crime scene tape up, Mr. Hood complained about his handcuffs being too tight. That time I checked on his handcuffs, found out who he was, and he made the comment that he thought that his brother had been shot. At that time, I asked him, so he was saying his brother was next to Officer Howard's vehicle. He said yes. At that time, I requested a detective to come over and talk with him.
Do you know what detective that you requested to come talk to Mr. Hood, sir?
That would have been Detective Jeff Clark.
Your Honor, could I see state exhibit pictures before we go like maybe 200 to 400? I can get a quarter like that.
Switch over to your Elmer.
Oh, yeah, yes, sir. Ms. Bishop, I'd like you to look at State's Exhibit 192, please, sir.
Yes, sir.
You stated Mr. Matthew Hood was prone out on the ground. Could you take your little laser show us here was Matthew Hood was rolled on the ground that sir?
That picture doesn't show the area that he was laid in.
Was it by this red SUV that, vehicle that Matthew Hood ought to be driving or was driving on March 22nd, 2011?
Yes, sir. Where he was thrown out at would have been on the other side of that vehicle right there.
Okay. So it's on the driver's side of the red SUV that he was thrown out?
Yes, sir.
You said over here, this car at right? This might get a little bit. That's a little bluer, isn't it? That's better. When you show them here, this is a good presentation where he was thrown on the ground somewhere right here.
As I was saying, where that car is that I pointed out, he'd have been on the other side of that. It's not in that picture. You can't see it in that picture.
Okay, because you take your little red laser, you got a little laser up there. I'm gonna back off a little bit, see if you can tell what you might see in that car.
He would have been laid out more up in this area behind that GBI vehicle.
Mr. Kitchen, I'd like you to look at State's Exhibit 170, please, sir. I want to play this for you. As of right now, let me back it up a little bit. Do you see what Matthew Wood was rolled on the ground at in this picture anywhere? Was it right here? What was it?
No, sir. It'd have been. It's off the camera. You can't see where he was at.
Let me go. Can you see it from here?
No, sir.
I'm gonna play this video until Mr. Hood just, we'll see it come up. Is that you right there, sir? What, you just knelt on the ground there, sir?
Yes, sir.
How far Matthew Hood was at this time? What area would he been in?
In that first picture that you showed, he'd have been laid out to the right of that, to the left of that vehicle, off the off the driver's side, and he was laid up on the ground, on the grassy area. So,
That's him? Is that Matthew Hood, that nigga right here, this guy here? Can you see right here with this red area, this laser? How about look here? Is that Matthew Lewis you saw him today? Right here.
I believe that's him, yes, sir.
And this your car here, right?
It is.
Okay. Why did they place him in your car?
Because my car was the one that was available.
And Matthew Hood SUV went parked right here, y'all, that you saw, right here with his arrow. Can y'all see that? Okay. Was Matthew Hood car parked anywhere right here, that red SUV right, was it parked right here?
Not when I arrived, no, sir.
Okay, so it was parked right here. Did you ever see that red SUV parked right here at any time?
I did not.
Now, again, I'd like you to look at State's Exhibit 192. Now, after review of that video, could you show the jury what vicinity he came from?
Where this car is right here, he'd have been on the other side of that car,
Okay.
up on the grassy area, up in that area behind the GBI vehicle.
Okay. Do you know how the red SUV got right there?
Somebody drove it there.
Now, after they placed Mr. Matthew Hood in the car, did you do anything with Matthew Hood with you while he was in your car?
Other than checking his handcuffs and him asking me about you.
What did he say about you?
He said that you was on Officer Howard's vehicle.
Okay. Did you drive Matthew Hood anywhere in your car?
Yes, sir. After other officers arrived and they got control of the scene, I was asked to drive Matthew to the West Side Precinct.
Who was with you when you drove Matthew Hood to the West Side Precinct?
It was just me and Matthew.
Did y'all talk on the way out there?
We did not.
When you got to the West Side Precinct, did you talk to Mr. Matthew Hood anyway?
I took him out there to be interviewed by GBI agents. I turned him over to the GBI. They did an interview with him. I was not present for that interview. After they got done, they asked me that I would get further directions on what to do. And at that time, I asked them if it was okay if I talked to them. They said okay. And if I got any relevant information, to pass that on to them.
Did you talk to him?
I did.
Did you tell the jury what y'all talked about?
He talked about his children. He talked about, said he was trying to get his life together to do the right thing. He was afraid that his family would be blamed for the shooting. I take it that he was meeting his parents. I asked him things like, did he know where Mr. Hood had went to, if he had any family in the area, and questions like that. At the time, he said he did not. At one point, he mentioned there may be a cousin or another relative that stayed in that area. I passed that information on.
Did you leave anything out that Matthew told you about, that you recall? Did you not mention anything? Or have you not mentioned anything that Matthew told you about specifically?
I didn't cover specifics. I talked about what, in general, what we talked about.
Did y'all talk about what Matthew saw with Officer Tony Howard before that police shooting incident?
I asked him, how did you get with him? He said that he had picked you up at the McDonald's there on Atlanta Highway, that you asked to be taken over to that area to be dropped off. I asked if he knew if you had a weapon with you. He said he did not. I asked him if y'all had discussed anything about earlier events that day. He said no, that you don't talk about what you do or your business. I asked him if it was strange to him that you wasn't driving your Cadillac. He said no, he didn't ask you about that, but he did find that it was strange that you wasn't in your vehicle. We talked about, he told me that when originally stopped there in the apartment complex, that Officer Howard had waved him down and was asking him to stop, that he stopped at that time. He told me that after he stopped, that you got out of the vehicle, that you started walking away, and then you turned around and went back towards Officer Howard's vehicle.
Did you do a written report, a supplemental report?
I did.
Do you have it with you?
I do.
Okay, could you pull it up? Did you see anything in your written supplemental report about Matthew Hood stating that SBO Howard told him, yelled at him to stop? He said that SBO Howard told him 3 times to stop, and that you could tell he meant business. Did you see that in your report?
I do.
Why you fail to mention that part to the jury?
I did mention that part, that he had been asked to stop by SPO Howard.
You said yelled in your report, is that correct?
That
You
is
said
correct.
yelled. And you also said SBO Howard told him 3 times to stop, and that he could tell that he meant business.
That's what Matthew told me, yes, sir.
Why you didn't tell that to the jury about the yelling that he meant business? I don't recall you telling them that while you were just testifying.
Okay.
If you wrote in your report, why you didn't tell it?
I told him that, mentioned that SPO Howard asked him to stop.
Okay.
I didn't say it word for word, but I did say that.
Again, when you was on the scene, you didn't see nobody, audio or video, camera or anything that could show us what really happened? You didn't get none of that or look for none of that?
I didn't look for any of that specifically. I was busy doing other things.
Did anybody, Matthew felt like he was threatened at any time? Do you know that? Anybody threatened?
As far as I know, no, sir.
Why did Matthew think, well, you stated Matthew thought his whole family would be blamed for it. What made, do you know why he said that?
I have no idea. He talked about his, your brother being killed earlier by the officers. I couldn't answer that. That would be something that he would have to certainly tell you.
What happened for the question?
Malden?
Kitchens, at the time you spoke to Matthew Hood, it indicated you related that David Hood called him to pick him up at McDonald's, right?
Yes, sir.
And he went ahead and he told you the story just like you related it pretty much there a few minutes ago.
Yes,
correct?
sir.
And he also indicated that Tony Howard waved him down, right?
Yes, sir.
And told him, yelled at him 3 times to stop.
Yes,
correct?
yes, sir.
And that his brother, Jamie Hood, got out of the vehicle, right?
Yes, sir.
He also said he started walking away, right?
Yes, sir.
And he said then he went back towards Howard's vehicle. Is
Yes,
that
sir.
right?
Yes, sir.
That's all I had.
Anything else? Ms. Bishop, have you looked at any video anything that would show that what actually happened there?
I have not.
Okay, have you seen what actually happened there?
I was not there at the time of the incident.
Okay, well, no further questions. You need to be excused, sir.
Call the next witness.
I'd like to call Mr. Robert Kelly. Robert Kelly. Please raise your hand, sir. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give to the court and the jury on the matter currently pending before the court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God, sir?
Yes, sir.
Please
I
be
do.
seated. Would you tell the court and the jury your name, please, sir?
Robert Kelly,
Could you please spell your last name for the court reporter, please, sir?
Kelly.
Mr. Kelly, what do you do for a living, sir?
I'm a retired teacher and coach, and now I do some photography work and film work, part-time.
Have you done movies or acting in anything, sir?
Yeah, I've done a little bit of acting, and then I've done a couple documentaries, and then I just finished a feature-length comedy.
Could you tell the jurors the role that you played, what movie you played in, sir?
Well, I played a policeman in We Are Marshall, football, a movie about the football team that was killed in a plane crash. And then I played an officer again in a movie called One Missed Call. And I played a preacher in Pushing Up Daisies, and then a couple other just minor roles.
Sir, have you had any dealing with law enforcement or the military of any kind, sir?
I was in an MP unit in the Army Reserves for 7 years. 6 years I was an MP, and 1 year I was in an engineering unit.
Mr. Kelly, I'd like to direct your attention back to March 22nd, 2011, sir. Do you recall being in Athens, Georgia on that day?
Yes, I do.
Could you tell us what was you doing in Athens? Possibly 1-ish, 2-ish o'clock. Could you tell us about that?
About 1 o'clock, a little bit after 1, I stopped into my chiropractor, which is a historic clinic at the intersection of Sycamore and Broad. And I didn't have an appointment or anything, but I knew they had a lunch break from 12 to 1, and I was there a little bit after 1, but then I saw a note on the door that said they were taking a lunch break from 12 until 2. So I left there, and I didn't want to wait until 2 o'clock. So
I decided I'd just go back home, and so I drove down Sycamore.
Boss, we get the lights, I want to show the State's Exhibit 170. This, you got a red laser right there, sir, it look like this. See up around there where you at? I'd like you to follow this camera, sir. Your chiropractor went up Sycamore Drive. Do you recall this road right here on the Line Highway? Do you recall seeing this road, March 22nd, 2011?
Is that where the car wash is on the right and
Yes.
store clinic's on the left?
I'm gonna bag it up a little bit, but the car.
Yeah, right, yeah.
I'd like you to follow this camera on this car.
Okay.
Okay, what is Stewart Clinic at? What would that Stewart Clinic be located at?
It's right where Sycamore comes into,
Do you see it anywhere right here?
it's got to be off to the left. It's a red brick building with white columns.
Okay.
I think, is that Sycamore right there? That
Yes,
is-
sir.
Okay.
It might be the red building, you're talking about the right columns. Right here, these some red building and white columns right here. I guess is what you might be talking about.
Well, there's about 3 buildings, but it's the one that's closest to Atlanta Highway.
Okay. Yes, this is Sycamore Drive, it will be approximately right here. What?
Okay.
Yes, sir. This is 1 building, 2 buildings, 3 buildings, then this Sycamore Drive, yes, sir.
Okay.
When you went to the chiropractor, whatever, could you tell us this vantage point, what happened? What happened after this?
Well, I drove out here, come out of the parking lot, and I start down Sycamore. And I think, is there a muffler shop right here somewhere?
Yes, sir. It's a Midas.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, right here.
Right.
Yes, sir.
And I noticed a police car sitting there, and I remember that because I double checked to make sure I had my seatbelt on, because I'd had, about a year previous to that, I'd gotten a ticket in Athens for not having my seatbelt button, so. And then I just proceeded slowly down Sycamore, and I wasn't familiar with Sycamore, but I thought I could go down there and take a road back over, a street back over to Broad. But as I was going down there, it looked like Sycamore kind of veered out, and there possibly, maybe it was a dead end, or there wasn't any way to get back over to Athens Highway or Broad, so I decided to cut through the parking lot of this condominium.
I take the call down for you so you can see a little better. Follow this camera.
Okay.
This is where you were going, sir? Down Sycamore Drive, and you recall coming down this way?
No, no. I think that's way too far down. You sure that's Sycamore?
Yes, sir.
That doesn't look familiar right there. Is that?
Is it possible that it's been so long that you forgot specifically you need to be refreshing?
Well, I've been down there recently. Is that the entranceway to the condo? I can't tell with that camera going.
Condos here. It'll take you straight to Atlanta Highway, see the red arrow.
That's a leading question, I don't think.
I know you're trying to orient
Yeah,
them, but
yeah.
If you could back it up a little bit, when you went past that area where there was trees on both sides, I don't remember Sycamore having something like that. That doesn't look familiar to me right there.
Do this look familiar, some apartments, you take a right here and it take you back to Atlanta Highway?
Is that Water's Edge Apartments?
River's Edge.
River's Edge?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's it. Yeah, that's where I was.
Okay, so you recall being right here at River's Edge?
Right. And so I wanted to turn right to cut through that parking lot.
Okay, when you turn right here at River's Edge, here at River's Edge, did this take you straight to Atlanta Highway, going this way with this red arrow going like that?
Yeah, if that's the parking lot of the River's Edge, it eventually took me over to Atlanta Highway, but I couldn't take a right
Yes, sir.
right there
Yeah.
at that moment.
Yeah. I'm gonna go down a little further. Before you made your turn on March 22nd, 2011, at this River's Edge, Did you see anything about a red SUV or police car in this vicinity anywhere?
Yeah, I did. When I pulled up to that, to where the entranceway was, there was a big red SUV, looked like it was coming out of the parking lot.
Can you demonstrate for the jury what your ladies or what you're saying?
Yeah, there was a large red SUV, looked like it was trying to come out of the parking lot on that exit. And then there was a police car that appeared to me to be trying to turn in. And there wasn't enough room for them to get by, so it looked like it was sort of a log jam where there's the big red car, and here's the police car kind of like this.
Could you demonstrate that to the jury like you showed?
Yeah, so the red SUV was like this, like it was sort of trying to come out, but then the police car was kind of trying to come in, and it looked like there wasn't enough room for them to sort of pass. And so I'm thinking, I waited for a while, maybe 10 seconds or something. I'm thinking, okay, somebody needs to, I'm getting a little impatient. I thought somebody needs to back up so that one car can get through and the other car can go on. I had no idea there was any connection between the two cars. So finally, the red car did pull out real slow and went over here to the entrance. Sort of offset, there's an entrance to another apartment complex right in here. And so then I'm thinking the police car is going to go on because now it's clear, but instead the police car kind of turns and it goes over and pulls up beside the red car.
Could you tell us, when he turned, how did he turn and get back around now? Could you tell us that?
I don't recall too. I mean, it wasn't really fast. They were both moving really slow. Like the red car was just barely moving across here, and then the police car, I'm thinking, is going to go on its way, but it kind of made some kind of a little turn. You know, I'm driving, so I'm kind of looking at the road and just kind of glancing at these cars, but the police car kind of made some kind of a little turn here, so that it went over here and pulled beside the red car.
What after the police turned and got behind the red car, what did you see?
Well, I just saw, you know, the two cars, the one red car pull over, and then the police car go over and pull beside him. So I thought, well, he must be stopping him for something like a violation or something. And so I pull up a little bit to where I can start making my turn.
Let me go up a little bit further. Okay, is that close enough? I need to go up.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. So I pull up and start to make my turn into the apartment, and as I'm doing that, since these two parking lots, the entrance way is offset, so they're sitting a little further back. I can.
I like to show them the state exhibit so you can see. I like you look at state's exhibit. 192. Okay, is that, can you see that? You said the parking lot offset. Is that what you're talking about? Is that what you mean offset?
Right. Yeah, you come out of one and you don't go straight across to the other. You kind of go right and then over there.
Okay. From state exhibit 192, could you explain from this vantage point where the red SUV were coming across like this, and you stated that the police car had to turn around to get behind it? How did he have to turn around to get behind it?
Because he was already pointed in this way. The police car was pointing like it was going to go into the parking lot.
Okay.
So he had to, I don't remember if he backed up and pulled over or whether he just kind of made a U-turn. I didn't really pay attention. But anyway, the red car ended up here, and the police car ended up real slow pulling up beside it. And I started to make my turn and go on my way. I started to go up this way.
Tell us what you saw when you started to make your turn.
Well, you know, my thought was that maybe they were pulling this guy over for something, traffic violation or something. But then as I was making my turn, and I could look out, had my window down, I could look out my driver's side window and have a good view of that. And I noticed African-American male that was out of the car, but I don't think it was the driver. I forgot to mention before that when the red car pulled over here, I could see the driver, and it was African-American male. It looked like he had a white T-shirt on. He kind of pulled over, and then I also saw the driver of the police car, who was African-American male. And so now I see a third guy that's out of the car that didn't appear to be the driver because he had like a shorts and kind of a short sleeve, kind of a dress shirt type thing on. And
Did you have a description of that male?
the third guy, the one outside the car now,
Yeah.
just kind of an athletic build. I just noticed more or less what he was wearing. He had shorts, dark shorts, and a sort of a beige colored, looked like a dress shirt. It wasn't. I don't think it was a T-shirt, so that's why I thought it was someone other than the driver. So he was kind of walking between the two cars, and as I glanced over, can I stand up? He kind of made the other guy was out of the car. He kind of made a motion, kind of like this.
Hey, could you do that for the jury? Could you let them see you do that?
So the police car's here, the red car's here. The male is outside here with the shorts on, and he kind of makes a motion, kind of like this, and I kind of interpreted that as like horseplay. So I thought, oh, those guys, they know each other. That's why the cars pulled over by each other, and both African-American males. Athens is not that big of a place, so I figured just guys horsing around, and they just know each other. And then I took my eye off of those cars because now I'm starting to make my turn. I'm having to turn in here, so I'm looking at where I'm going. So now my eyes are straight ahead this direction as I'm making my turn into the apartment complex.
What was the black? You said he was jerking. What is moving? Were you jerking from him? What did you see?
Just a little movement like guys would do, like maybe someone said something to him and he's kind of like, no, that's not right, or maybe the guy reached for his arms, something, I don't know. It's just something I saw out of the side of my vision there that I just interpreted kind of as that they knew each other, and it was kind of a friendly gesture, maybe, I don't know.
Ms. Kelly, do you recall doing an interview on March 30, 2011 with a G-Bag 87 ton?
Yes, I do.
Okay. What led you to having that interview? No, I'm sorry, Jay, I want you back. I'm going to let him finish explaining, then I ask. Could you just finish explaining what you saw for the jury?
Okay, so now I'm pulling in, and I hear a pop. So I look back. Again, I don't have to look clear behind me because the parking lot's offset, so I look kind of like this. They're not. As I was making my turn, they were kind of like this, but now that I'm farther in the parking lot, they're more like back here. So I turn like this, and I see the one male that was not the driver, not the police officer, not the driver of the SUV, but the other guy was at the back of the car, the police car. And then I see him run to the side and fire some shots, which I thought was 3 shots. And I didn't see any gun or anything until it was all happened real quick, but all at once he raised up his arm and, bang, bang, bang. And then actually took a couple steps right towards me, or towards my vehicle, because I remember looking down to make sure my foot was on the gas pedal so I could get out of there. And because my vehicle was still in drive. I didn't put it in parking, it was still in drive. It just, didn't have my foot on the gas, so I wasn't going anywhere. But he looked this way, and then all at once he took off in this direction.
Okay, could you explain, you said you raised up and fired a few shots. Could you take your legs and show where was the guy, or where was I?
Okay, so let's say this is let's say this is the police car, and the red car is here. So he was between the car, and then when I heard the pop, I looked back, and the man was back here at the back. And then real quick, like, real fast, he darted to the side here and fired 3 shots into the car, came back to the corner of the car, or to the edge of the road actually, looked up this way, and all at once took off this direction.
Is it possible that you might have thought you seen me running around here firing shots on this side? Is that possible that you thought you saw me running around to this side and firing shots?
I don't think that's, no, I mean, that's what I remember seeing that day pretty clearly.
Fair enough, sir. Now, I like to direct your, okay, what did you do after that? After you seen that, what did you do?
I pulled on up. At that point, when I was down here, I wasn't sure that I could get out into Atlanta Highway because I wasn't sure if this parking lot was a dead end or not. I thought maybe if I got up there, there was some kind of a concrete barrier or something, and I wouldn't be able to get out into the street. So I'm thinking maybe I'm boxed in. So I thought maybe I should back down to where the shooting took place. And then I'm thinking, no, the shooter might come running back. So then I pull on up to the edge of where the apartments were, and then I'm thinking, you know, the shooter could, when he took off, I lost sight because he went behind some bushes and then there was a building. So I'm thinking, well, he might circle back around that building and come right out where I am now. So, like most people, I'm thinking I probably need to get out of there. So there was a gap in the traffic on the Atlanta highway, so and there was a way to drive right out of that parking lot onto the highway. So I drove right on into to Athens, Broad Street, and ended up somehow in the left-hand lane. So I took a left on Hawthorne and went down to a little business there and pulled off in the parking lot to sort of collect my thoughts. I didn't have my cell phone with me that day because I had originally come to Athens to work out, and I usually don't carry my phone. And at that point, I was trying to figure out if what I saw happen really happened, because it was so unusual for, you know, it was 1 o'clock in the afternoon, or 1:30, about 1:22, I'd say, somewhere in that range. It appeared these people knew each other, and then I was, from my military experience, sometimes you have drills that are very authentic, and I thought, well, maybe this is some kind of a drill where they're, you know, supposedly there's some kind of a shooting, and they want to get medical personnel, some kind of drill or something. So that was sort of my thinking at that time when I left.
You said you left and you went to, you recall you said you went to a place of business. Did you get on Atlanta Highway and come right here? The Burger King used to be right here. Did you recall going to Burger King after you left Sycamore Drive and saw that police shooting incident?
Yeah, I went down Hawthorne. I don't remember if I went to the Y or the Burger King or somewhere a good little ways down Hawthorne, because stuff was still running through my mind. And I thought about it, and then I thought, well, I probably should drive back to tell someone what I saw. And when I drove back, when I got close to that intersection, there was some highway officials, personnel there that they'd already blocked off the street. You couldn't get in to couldn't get near where the shooting had taken place. So I turned around, and they were turning traffic around, so I turned around again, and I only live about 15 to 18 minutes from there, so I thought, well, I'll just drive home and call when I get home. and try to contact somebody. So that's what I did.
Okay. Did you get in touch with law enforcement at any time about what you saw?
Well, I got on the internet. I don't really have television. I have a TV, but I just watch movies. So I'm not hooked up to cable or anything. So I got on the internet, and it did confirm, said two officers shot in Athens. One was deceased, and the other one was hurt seriously. And so they had a number there, like a tip line. So I called that number several times, but no one ever answered. So I tried to call the main number for the police department, and I don't remember if I didn't get an answer or whether they put me on some kind of voicemail, but I never did get to talk to anyone at the police station. So some time went by, maybe an hour or something. I'm still kind of thinking about what to do. So I have a brother-in-law that works for the sheriff's department in Gwinnett County. So I called him. Of course, he knew the story and everything, what was going on. I told him I had witnessed this shooting, and I needed to tell somebody, you know. And so he said he had a number that he could use, that he could get through to the police department. So he called and gave them my name and my phone number and told them I was a witness. And then he called me back and told me that he had gotten in touch with them. So that was kind of how that day played out.
Do you recall having do you recall on Wednesday, March 30, 2011, at approximately 3 p.m. having an interview with GBAT agent Sarah Thomas, sir?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Could you tell us how you come to have that interview with Agent Thomas, sir?
Between, what day was that, March 30th?
Yeah, March 30, 2011, sir.
Okay, between March 22nd and 30th, I guess, since I'd never heard anything from the police department, I called being a school teacher, if you witness a crime or you hear about, child abuse or any kind of crime, if you don't report that, you can lose your certification. So, I was a little worried about that. Plus, I needed on record somewhere that someone knew that I had seen this crime or tragedy take place. So I called the FBI in Atlanta, and because I'd seen on the internet that there was a field, I forget what they call them, field officer, field something, that was for the FBI that was in charge of this particular case. So I called and asked to speak to him, but he wasn't in or something, so they just took my name and my number, and they said that they would pass that information on to the proper people, and that they would get back with me. So then a few days later, Sarah Thomas called, said she had gotten my name. I don't think she said from the FBI, but she said she had my name, and she understood that I was a witness in this case, and she would like to set up a meeting so I could give her, my statement as to what occurred. So that's how that all took place.
So, do you recall actually having a meeting with Ms. Thomas on March 30, 2011, sir?
Yes, I remember. Mm-hmm.
Do you recall that interview to be digitally recorded, sir?
She recorded on something, I can't remember what it was, but I remember turning something on and, saying, is it okay if we...
I'm going to ask you to back off that mic, say a total of 5 or 6 inches.
Okay.
So that you can do that.
All right.
I can't control the volume from here.
Okay. Yeah, I remember her turning something on. I don't remember if it was digital or tape player what it was, but she recorded the conversation, yes.
How long did you call, how long you talked to her, sir?
Oh, it was a pretty good while, maybe, it was more than a half hour. I mean, we talked a little while before she started recording. We talked about some other issues, what state we were from and stuff like that, and it's pretty cordial. And then I gave her the statement, and then we talked a little bit after that. So probably the recording was maybe 45 minutes, or between a half hour and 45 minutes, and then the total time I was there was maybe 1 hour, approximately.
Ms. Kelly, during that interview with Ms. Thomas on March 30th, do you recall telling her that that you saw a police car sitting in the exit of the apartment's parking lot? That you saw that the police car was sitting in the exit of the parking lot of this apartment?
Well, the only two police cars I saw were the one sitting in the parking lot of the muffler shop, or somewhere close to the parking lot. I think it was just kind of off the side of the road there, and might have not been right in the parking lot. And then the other police car, which
So right here, with the white area right there, we saw at the muffler shop, police car sitting up here. Or you can put your little lays on it.
yeah, that view doesn't look familiar. I was thinking the parking lot was like up in here somewhere, like
It is.
right on. Okay, yeah. So somewhere right in this area there, I just noticed the police car, and I didn't think much of it. Like I said, I just checked to make sure my seatbelt was buckled.
Okay. When you were going down Sycamore, did you see this taxi cab in the road when you were there?
No, I don't remember seeing a taxi cab.
See this guy just, well, somebody just opened the door, you don't recall seeing them? Right in this taxi cab?
No. What is, that's a taxi cab there?
Yes, sir.
No.
Okay. Now the second police car. According to your interview, you saw a police car sitting in the exit of the apartment. In the exit of the apartment. And you stated in your interview you saw a red SUV coming out, and you saw a police car sitting in the exit. Did you see it sitting in the exit right here? That's how it got turned around and got back right there?
Well, when I first saw it, looked like it was trying to get in this parking lot.
But in your interview, did you state that it was sitting in the exit? It was sitting in the exit of the parking lot, or the parking lot. It was sitting in the exit.
Well, I might have said exit, but I meant entrance. I don't know whether that's an exit or an entrance, but that's a way to get into that parking lot for the.
Well, who was sitting right there? Did you also state that a red Suburban was sitting at the exit of the other apartments?
Red Suburban was sitting right here, and the police car was sitting right here.
Okay.
They were kind of butted up to each other.
Okay, but could you explain that? I mean, have you had an interview with the prosecutor officer at the time about the case?
Yeah, I went in one day and talked just briefly with the prosecuting attorney.
Okay, how did you come to talk to the prosecutor about the case?
I believe I got subpoenaed, or they called me, or I can't remember what the formality was, but I got a letter, and I think I called, and they said they'd like to talk to me during the course of some week, whenever it was important, whenever I could fit it in my schedule. So we set up a time, and I came, and they said they were interviewing all the witnesses. So
What did y'all talk about pertaining to Sycamore Drive when you saw at Sycamore Drive?
it was pretty much the same conversation I had with Sarah Thomas from the GBI. It was a little bit more brief. I didn't go quite as much detail on all the things that occurred, but it was just why I was there, what I saw, basically.
Did they try to get you to change your statement at any time?
No.
Why would you testify today other than what you put in, what was in your interview that day?
What's that now?
Why would you testify today differently than what you told the GBI March 3rd, 2011?
There's no, I don't think there's any basis to
exactly what he said. And I can play the Disney show.
I don't know about that, but you can ask him another question.
Well,
Turn the lights on.
well, could it, she just hasn't had this problem continuously.
Just ask him another question.
Well, okay, I want to say this because I have a right to say this because of exemplification on all due respect. Now, I got the interview, you got the interview, and I'm pretty much tired of people coming here and saying stuff that what they said in them interview. Now, I've been nice about it the whole time, and it is my right to refresh this memory on any issue that I feel like I need to be refreshed on.
Well, then you may do that.
Okay, well.
Rather than talking about
Okay,
it.
well, every time I get to do it, y'all shut me down.
Ask a question if you have one.
Well, can I ask the jury to leave off so I can play the
No,
video?
sir. Ask,
Well, I'm trying to refresh his memory. How am I gonna do it? You gonna let me play the CD?
ask him, you haven't asked him a question.
Well, I just asked him a question. Did he see the thing coming out? He said no. And I got it
Which
transcribed.
question did you ask?
I asked him, did he see the police car parked at the exit of the apartments? Every witness comes in, I know what they're gonna say before I say it. Before I ask them any question. Do you want me to play the disc and let everybody hear?
Can you indicate which apartments? Perhaps that's the
Oh,
issue.
shit, that number 2 apartment, the red, we coming out these rivers there, and the single, and he coming out right here. We had another witness that he seen him come out right here. And he just stated, he turned around and got
My
behind.
question is, I'm gonna ask the jury to go to the jury room, please. Do you have any questions of standby counsel as to the appropriate way to refresh recollection? Do you want to ask her any questions?
Do we do it the same way I've been doing? How do I refresh the memory to a city? I asked it over again, I thought I'd done it. I was gonna ask, this is what my question was, Your Honor. I asked him, did you see a police car sitting at the exit of the apartment, parking lot? And he said, he seen this guy coming around trying to get in here. That what made me say, hey, did you tell the GBA agent on March 30th that you saw a police car sitting in the exit? And he said, he saw a red SUV, the red Suburban, sitting in the exit of the other apartment. These are only 2 apartments. He come right out of these apartments, and we were coming out these apartments here. And he told us this on March 30, 2011. I got the transcript. That's why I was asking. I let him explain it, and I was trying to prevent from playing the whole video. I've been trying to be nice about it.
I'm not going to, my recollection of the exchange was not what you just said. But I'm going to ask you, you can play it. Any objection to that? You can play it at that point.
I got them all transcribed time, so we don't have to take all day. So when I ask a question, I pretty much know where I'm going.
Go ahead and just refresh his recollection on whatever it is while we have the jury out. Go ahead and do that if there's matters and do it all at one time rather than
Yes, sir.
trying to do that, rather than doing it and then bring them back out perhaps. I mean, but that's up to whatever the court wants to do.
You have any objection to that, Mr. Hood?
Well, I think I want to bring this to the court, since this CD get a play, but sometimes it take a little while to play, and I got it from them. If they got another copy of Robert Kelly, they gave me a copy, I know that they do have it. You know, they got one that probably can play better than this one, you know, we can get that in there right quick. And we can just go and play it, because it plays, sometimes it take a while to play. I got it from them, I did sometimes say it certainly is, it's crazy sometimes, I've been doing it since I had it. I got this from them, Robert Kelly. This, I got it from them.
I see what you're saying, it's just that I can't do anything about it
I just worked
now.
into it, but,
I assume he's played it before in that computer, Jay.
yeah, I have.
Just see.
It just take a while to play.
I don't mind trying to get one if we have to, but I mean, I would see if it works here. Can't you do that?
Yeah, you gotta play with this for a while. That's why I was just making it so we can go on and just get it over with. See, that green thing, just take a long time sometimes to play, I don't know why. See that, if you're doing this, it just be,
Well, we don't have another one here, I don't, they're telling me they don't have one here, so it's, Mike,
could we get them to go, I got it from them, they have it.
Try to get it in you, but that won't work. You do that.
I'm just trying to save up the time.
well, but this is not doing that.
But
If
this
you
one-
were gonna play this, it's your responsibility to be prepared.
But I am,
for
I
that.
can only use the CD that they give me, Judge, and this is one that I've been using since I had it.
Mr. Hood, what I'm trying to explain is, I had no way of knowing, I could have dealt with that yesterday. That's my point.
Well, I'm playing it as it comes, Judge. I can only work with the CD that they give me. I'm in jail. They the one giving them to me.
Mr. Hood, I can't do anything about it if I don't know there's an issue. And now we're waiting, that's my concern.
It might pick up like it usually do. I've been playing this computer numerous times, but it always takes a long time for it to play. They do that insert of this, I don't know what's wrong with it. I say this because I don't want to disrespect nobody. You know, if I try to put exact time down, I don't want to disrespect Mr. Kelly. This is for Mr. Kelly's purpose. I put what I thought I heard down. I can't sit here and call him a lie, I don't want to do that. But this tape, I think says, he's sitting in the exit apartment, and he's seeing a red Suburban sitting in the exit of the other apartment. Now, I try to transcribe word for word. That's what I know the city's gonna do. And then,
Get another PED.
you know,
Try to find one, or whatever, I mean, I don't
We're
know.
working on that right now. Let me just suggest, if there are any others that you plan to use that you're not able to, they're not playing, make a list. Tell me what that is, so that we have, if they're available from some other source, we can get out of it. I would have more to let you know.
yeah, I just want to say that, Mr. I'm not trying to call you no lie, man. If I did, please forgive me. I'm just putting what I thought down, you know,
What's the discrepancy? What did you?
We can't.
Okay.
I was
We
just,
can't go.
you know,
You got it?
I've got one right here.
All right?
I'm just trying to tell you, I ain't trying to disrespect him or stand up and like that. Because if I'm agree with you, I just try to do a professional, sir. I just apologize if I said you was saying something that you didn't think, okay? See, sometimes I do this, don't want to come out the thing, it didn't come out. Some of it didn't, I think. There it is. And I say do it all the time. You know, I do have multiple questions about this I would like, so.
You want to play in
Yeah.
the sections that you think he needs to refresh his memory on.
Let's see how long it is. Yeah, it's 40 minutes. You know, and I was trying to refrain from playing these things, but there are some issues on there. I got a lot of questions I want to ask them off that. So, like you said, we don't want the jury to keep leaving this here and that there.
Are you suggesting you're going to play all 40 minutes, or you're just going to go to various things?
We can go to various things, but I hate them leave out again. We don't have to pay the whole total 40, but I just hate to keep getting them up out again like
Well, we're
that.
spending time talking about.
How you wanna do it?
Spend time.
I'm asking you
I
what
just
you
want
wanna
you to do it in the most efficient way
Okay.
that you're able to do this, which could have included your investigator playing this for him before.
Now, I
That's
didn't
one of
think
the
it did.
options.
You're right, I didn't think it was gonna come down to this.
I understand.
So I did play section. Is it playing? Okay.
It was approximately 3 p.m., especially with their times at the regional office. Say your first name for me.
Which one, like,
Robert, R-O-B-E-R-T.
Is it EY or YM, Kelly?
Just, first of all, I wanna do the 5, 15, 6 part.
Okay, you don't have to announce, you can just.
December 18th, 47,
And yourself and Roland?
6, 7, 8. So kind of a light, kind of look, and it looks like that sycamore. I looked to the right, and it was like apartments, so kind of a light green. I really don't recall the names of either place. But anyway, and then once I get down there, I kind of look, and it looks like that sycamore either dead ends or kind of veers away, so it's like a lot of good road to take to get back over to the main road. And it looked like the apartments kind of going back downhill, and weren't very nice as we got farther down the street, so I thought I'll just cut through this parking lot here and see if I can get back over to the main road. But there was a police car sitting in the exit. Like here's Sycamore, and here I am, and there's a police car sitting kind of like this, and then there was another car, the big red Suburban sitting like this, kind of, so it was kind of like T-bone, but the way it looked to me, which, and, you know, I just kind of glanced at it and kind of glanced away, glanced back, it looked like the officer was trying to make the turn up into those apartments, but the other car was so big, because it was, I guess at the time it was Suburban, that maybe he couldn't make that turn. That's what it appeared to me, you know, at that point in time. So I kind of sat there for a second, and then I remember glancing down in my mirror, and the police car up at the top of the hill was now.
You know what I'm saying? Did you hear yourself state that a police car was sitting in the exit?
You know, there's only one way in and out of that apartment. I don't know, it may be a terminology thing here where I say entrance or exit, but it's the same little road. There's a police car trying to go into the, trying to go in the entrance, trying to go into the apartments, and there's the red Suburban trying to come out. But I mean.
I would like to direct your attention, it might give us a better understanding of this. Well, we both misunderstood right now, just trying to help us. I would like to go from 25, 23 to 26, 12, where you stated, the red car eased across the road, but I still had to wait to see what the police car was going to do. Instead of taking it right, listen, instead of taking it right and going up through here, which I thought he was going to do, he turned right here and went down beside the guy. You know, I guess where I went wrong in a misprocedure when you said it's for exit, because you didn't say which apartment. I'm taking it as he come, I seen him come out the red apartment. I'm the guy you see.
He doesn't need to be having this conversation.
Okay,
Just play it.
Okay, let me just play. 25, 23, 26, 12, and you hear, see, you make me understand.
Would you mind, and I know you walked through with the car, but would you mind drawing the police car that you saw shots going to, where the first one was, and then where he was when he fired?
Just this picture here, or actually when the shooting was taking place?
Yes, the police car and then where the subject was, and you saw him when he fired, when he shot someone.
Here's the entrance to the first apartments, and here's the entrance to the apartments on the left. So, all right, the red car was here, it gets to here. Police car was here.
Which way were the cars facing?
They were both facing this way.
Okay.
The whole, well, in the
Oh,
beginning,
right.
this one was facing, what would that be, south or something? This guy was kind of T-boned right. This looked to me like this guy, the police car was trying to make a turn and couldn't make it because this car, it was a huge vehicle, you know. It's not a very big driveway there. So then it kind of eased out real slow. This red one, it went straight across to there.
Okay.
This car just kind of turned it this way and pulled up beside of him. So I'm thinking, yeah, he's going to pull him over for some reason. I just want to start making my turn in here. And so,
Where were you at this point?
well, I think I kind of, this, you know, the police car was, I was right behind the police car. So once this red car kind of eased out and went clear across here, I still kind of had to wait to see what the police car was going to do. But instead of taking a right and going up through here, which I thought he was going to do, he turned right here and went right down beside this guy. And that's when I'm thinking, oh, he's going to pull that guy over. But at the same time, I'm kind of easing forward slowly and starting to make my turn in here. And that's when I saw
say entrance or the other way, and I can't make him say what I saw. That's what I'm getting mixed up at, but I knew he had said about an exit, and we were coming out
You
the
don't
exit.
have to explain it to me.
So I got something else for we can get it out of the way. I noticed you didn't, in your interview, you say you stated you seen him grab me, but you didn't tell the jury that. Do you recall stating that you seen the officer grab my arm, anything like that?
I think I said the way you moved was like maybe someone was reaching for you, or again, it's like, you know how guys do horseplay where maybe somebody grabs somebody, punches them on the arm or something, or maybe just said a joke or something and you just kind of turn away. I saw some movement turning away, but I couldn't really, at that point, the man outside the car was between me and the officer, so that blocked my vision. I couldn't really see what the officer was doing since he was sitting in the car. I was just kind of assuming things at that point and really not paying that much attention because I was basically just trying to drive home.
Okay. What I'd like to do is go play you a section of this if you see it.
I remember he kind of had, I think, he had shorts on or some kind, like either dark or blue jeans or something, and I really don't even remember his feet. I read later when he was barefooted, but I would have guessed he had like black tennis shoes on or something. I really didn't pay attention to his feet. But he was, so when I first saw him, he was walking, here's the red car, and here's the police car, and he was right about sort of passing where the window would be. So the police officer was still in his car. And I didn't see anyone get out of the police car ever. And this guy was kind of jerking his arm away, like maybe the other guy kind of grabbed his arm or something. I didn't really see him grab his arm, but that's the impression I got. It was kind of like he kind of jerked away. And there was this look on his face, which I interpreted at the time to be kind of a smile or laugh, but it could have been like a grimace or something. But what I thought was, oh, they're horse playing. They know each other. So that's the one guy pulled up, police car pulls beside him because maybe it's a buddy and they're just talking or something. That's goofing off. That was my impression at that point. So I'm still thinking that it's just a normal day.
So the officer grabbed his arm? I'm sorry.
Well, I saw the guy jerk like this.
Okay.
That made me think that he either grabbed at his arm or grabbed his arm or something. So that's kind of what I seen right as I was making the beginning of my turn. So I'm thinking, well, they're just horse playing or something. They know each other.
Mm-hmm.
So then, as I'm going further into my turn, I lose sight of him. So I'm kind of looking straight ahead, and hadn't gone but just maybe a few feet sort of straight, and I heard this pop. And so I turned back around, and at that point, and I assume later from everything I've read that was like the first shot. And then the guy was, the hood person, was at the left back corner of the car. He was kind of crouched like this. And he was kind of taking a couple nervous steps. Like they could go this way, that way. And for, a split second, I'm still thinking maybe it's some kind of horseplay thing where the guy's, kind of goosing the car or something.
Okay, so you heard the part about you thought grabbing the arm, reached out in the officer in the car, you heard that? Okay.
Correct.
concerns you had. I'm gonna play this pause, I wanna ask you some questions about some concerns that you had. And I wanna just refresh your memory just in case you don't remember.
But you mentioned you had some concerns you wanted to talk about.
Well, yeah, just, one is apparently, you know, somebody messed up by underestimating, you know, what was going to take place there. I guess it's no secret there was some mistakes made anytime someone's killed, you know, there's some mistakes made somewhere. So the fact that they let me drive down that road is one, you know, if they had this kind of thing, thought carjacked a car. So I'm wondering if they have a protocol or a policy in place to deal with whether it's carjacking, where they, you know, try to keep, since they're Department of Public Safety, trying to keep the public, you know, away from where they're going to try to intervene with that guy. And I think this was a unique situation probably where, first of all, I don't have an officer care, I guess it's 36 or anything, so probably not thinking it was going to escalate like that, but there was a possibility the guy did have a gun, and, you know, apparently they do that. And so, you know, that's kind of somewhat concerning. And the other thing is once I was involved in all this and tried to get in touch with all these people, and you're the only one that got in touch with me. I even, I think it was Friday or Monday, I kind of cut the low profile to that contact guy, but then I hadn't heard from anybody, so I called on that website, it said that the person in charge of the investigation was Rick Maxwell, special agent from the FBI. Well, I called the FBI number, which is 679-9000-404, and they're in Chandler, where it is. And the girl was real rude to me on the phone, and acted like, why did I call there? And I said, well, I have some information. And I said, I'd like to speak to someone in the office of Rick Maxwell. And she said, well, why do you want to talk to him? And I told her, you know, again, and she said, well, I don't think he's the right person. I don't think he's in charge. But I found out who you need to talk to and call you back, so I've never heard from them either, so.
That may have been how your information was passed to me. She may have, I believe she passed it on to Trent Hills when he was heading it up from our office, and he gave it to me.
You called,
Yeah.
said you had concerns about protocol, somebody messed up, you called in?
Right.
We would, supposed to be expecting to him stating that, there's no basis for him to be able to say that to the jury. Expressing that to them, it would not be something that would be admissible in trial for him to offer any kind of opinion like that, or state that before the jury.
Well, young,
I think my main concern was,
Yes, like there's a question.
okay.
Deanna, this is feelings. This is feelings. Why would he want to hide it from the jury? I mean, he didn't say it. We just heard it. It's the truth. He ain't making it up. I'm not making it up.
The concerns about, something they've messed up with their patrol cars getting ahead of Sycamore and, that kind of thing, that somehow there may not be a protocol followed and how, you know, for him to offer that kind of opinion and really have no basis to do that. I mean, that's what I'm getting at. He was talking about how somehow there was not a, you know, I think that's his right to show that to an officer, which is fine. But to basically have him say, well, I don't know really as we come back to it, there's an officer there at Sycamore and Broad, and kind of how would they let anybody down the road if they're looking for somebody and stop traffic and all that kind of stuff. I don't know how that would have any bearing on this. It would be relevant in the idea of going into the FBI and, you know, I tried to call them and everything else. But I don't see how there'd be any relevance to that.
Anything else?
We'll be all day, so I just take this from Rome.